Salutations, noble denizens of the Imperium, gather and heed my words as I unveil the saga of the Tyranids, a tale woven in the darkest threads of our grim future. In the vast, war-torn expanse of the 41st millennium, where the stars themselves bleed and the void whispers of endless conflict, let us delve into the enigma of these monstrous entities. Why do they stand as one of the most formidable adversaries of our great empire? From what forsaken corner of the cosmos did this nightmarish brood emerge? What insidious purpose drives their relentless advance? Could it be that these abominations, these harbingers of doom, are among the ancient architects of the universe itself? And dare we contemplate the unthinkable, that a human soul could be twisted into the grotesque form of a Tyranid? These creatures, often likened to deities, extraterrestrial horrors, and even the lowliest of vermin, possess a chilling resemblance to each. The Tyranid starcraft, a marvel of grotesque biotechnology. Void of any mechanical construct, these living vessels are birthed from the very flesh of the hive mind. Their forms, as diverse and bizarre as the nightmares they spawn from, starkly contrast the approaches of other factions that vie for dominion over our galaxy. In this era of galactic conquest, where every race has harnessed the energies of the warp to traverse the stars, the Tyranids transcend. Originating from a realm beyond our galaxy, these cosmic interlopers navigate the void not with technology, but with their very being. How do these vermin of the void traverse the vast gulfs of space? Shunning the conventional starships of other races, these cosmic cockroaches have evolved to fashion living vessels from their own biomass. These behemoths, akin to the Tyranids yet colossal in scale, drift through the cosmos. The Hive Fleet, a terrifying echo of the swarms depicted in ancient Terran lore, like star troopers, eschews the warp travel of the Imperium. The warp, a realm of chaos and temporal anomaly, stands in stark contrast to the Tyranids' method of travel. While Imperial vessels navigate this tumultuous sea, the Tyranids harness a different form of FTL travel. At the heart of their fleet lies the Narwhal, a seemingly defenseless bioship. Yet it is equipped with an array of microfibers and sensors attuned to the subtlest cosmic phenomena, primarily gravitational forces. This vessel interacts with gravity in a manner akin to creating a compressed transistor corridor through space-time, a warp drive of their own, distinct from the chaotic immaterium. These creatures do not defy the speed of light, rather they manipulate the fabric of space itself, contracting the void before them and expanding it in their wake. In this manner they traverse distances unimaginable, compressing light years into mere steps. However, this method is limited to the emptiness of space. Near star systems, where gravitational forces intensify, this technique falters. To breach the final void to their prey, the planets themselves, they resort to bioplasma propulsion, converting their own biomass into propellant to navigate the final leg of their relentless journey. We ponder the enigmatic odyssey of the Tyranids across the star-strewn void. The query that haunts our minds is not of their arrival, but of the duration of their intergalactic voyage. This is no trivial matter, for traversing the vastness between star systems pales in comparison to the monumental journey between galaxies. Even if these leviathans of the void manipulate space-time to approach the cusp of light speed, the span to reach a neighboring galaxy, such as Andromeda, 2.5 million light-years distant, remains a daunting expanse. Suppose they could compress the cosmos to traverse at twice the speed of light. Even then, a millennium-spanning journey of 1,000,000 years awaits them. Consider the possibility that our galaxy is but a recent waypoint in their cosmic migration, having originated from realms far beyond our ken. This implies either their mastery of unfathomable velocities, or that the Tyranids are entities of ancient provenance, perhaps predating our oldest celestial myths. Why then did these harbingers of doom embark from their distant galaxy? The answer is as stark as it is simple, an insatiable hunger. The Tyranids, having ravaged the life of their own galaxy and others in their path, now turn their ravenous gaze upon us. This cycle of consumption is intrinsic to their existence. While we may recoil at such a notion, it mirrors the very essence of life as we know it. All beings within our galaxy partake in this perpetual feast of existence. Plants draw sustenance from the soil, converting sunlight into life through photosynthesis. Herbivores consume these plants, and predators in turn prey upon these herbivores. In death, the cycle completes as decomposers return these elements to the earth. This intricate dance of life is further nuanced by processes such as nitrogen fixation by bacteria, contributing to the renewal of life. Yet, with the Tyranids, this cycle is shattered. They exist outside our natural order, devoid of their own regenerative cycle. One wonders what cataclysm on their homeworld birthed such a life form. Perhaps they were once predators of great number, bereft of their planet by some cosmic calamity. Stripped of the natural replenishment of organic matter from plants and bacteria, these evolved predators were compelled to seek sustenance from alien sources, growing ever more ferocious and adapting to this predatory existence. They have evolved into a grotesque parody of life, losing the ability to synthesize organics independently. However, their hunger has limits. They cannot consume the immaterial chaos demons. Demons, ethereal and bound to the warp, dissipate upon defeat, leaving no physical remains to be harvested. Engaging such foes offers no sustenance, no biomass for the Tyranids. This, among other reasons, is why they shun travel through the warp, a realm where their hunger cannot be sated. In the grim darkness of the far future, where the warp's maelstrom churns with demonic entities, we must contemplate the Tyranids' aversion to this chaotic realm. For these interstellar predators, venturing into the warp is akin to squandering precious resources, as their vessels become vulnerable to demonic assaults. The warp, teeming with the malevolent spawn of the Chaos Gods, is a phenomenon perhaps alien to the Tyranids. These gods, birthed from the emotional tumult of our galaxy's races, have wrought a cataclysmic rift, a phenomenon that may be unique to our galaxy alone. Why then would the Tyranids seek the warp's perilous embrace? Their existing methods of travel and navigation, honed through eons of cosmic predation, suffice. To embrace the warp is to court destruction, for its raw energies are anathema to the Tyranid biology. Understanding their means of travel and their targets leads us to question the nature of their command. Do these creatures operate on mere instinct like beasts of the wild? Or is there a guiding intelligence behind their relentless swarm? The answer lies in the hive mind, a collective consciousness that binds each Tyranid to its kin. In the Tyranid hierarchy, independence is a rarity. On the battlefield, formidable leaders such as Tyranid warriors or hive tyrants strengthen these psychic links, directing their lesser kin with ruthless efficiency. Severed from the hive mind, a Tyranid reverts to primal savagery, a mindless beast driven only by hunger. Thus the Tyranids are not mere animals, but a unified entity, a gestalt consciousness of terrifying potency. Among the few who have dared to probe this alien mind is Varro Tigurius, chief librarian of the Ultramarines, a psyker of unparalleled strength. His forays into the hive mind's labyrinth may have granted him a glimpse into its unfathomable depths. Yet, any notion of peace with the Tyranids is a fool's errand. Their very essence, encoded in the strands of their DNA, is to consume and assimilate. They are akin to the lion of ancient terror, driven not by malice, but by an unyielding instinct to hunt and devour. In this eternal war for survival, understanding the Tyranid is not a path to coexistence, but a means to better combat this relentless tide of hunger. Whispers and rumours abound about the enigmatic central figures within the Tyranid hive mind, the so-called Norn Queens. Shrouded in mystery and unconfirmed by any definitive evidence, these queens are believed to never grace the battlefield. Instead, residing at the very heart of the Tyranid fleet, they play a pivotal, almost godlike role in the life cycle of the Tyranids. Access to these queens is nearly impossible, and their appearance remains a dark enigma, speculated to be of a grotesque and monstrous nature that defies comprehension. These Norn Queens are not mere coordinators of the Tyranid swarm. They are the architects of life and death, engaging in the absorption of genetic material and overseeing the reproduction process, thus controlling the birth of new Tyranid generations. They possess the terrifying ability to manipulate DNA, adapting their offspring to the harshest of environments. For instance, should the Tyranids set their sights on a planet with extreme conditions, the Queen will ingeniously alter the DNA of the next generation, ensuring their survival and dominance in these hostile realms. Lurking in the shadows of the main fleet are the sinister Genestealers, advanced infiltrators of star systems. These anthropomorphic nightmares, with their 6 limbs, razor-sharp claws, and grotesquely large heads adorned with new, ominous growths and a long, sinister tongue, are the harbingers of doom. They use their tongues to inject a virus into their victims, a virus that carries the very essence of the Tyranid DNA. The infected, unbeknownst to them, fall under the control of the Tyranids, becoming unwilling pawns in their galactic game of conquest. The offspring born from such Tyranid-infected beings are mutants, yet the victim, in a twisted act of nature, cares for them as if they were their own flesh and blood. Depending on the species of the infected host, these offspring can vary drastically in appearance and attributes, creating a horrifying diversity within the Tyranid ranks. Thus, the Tyranids cunningly use infection as a means to implant their spies and saboteurs within other civilizations, giving rise to the Tyranid cult. Outwardly resembling humans, these cult members are genetically worlds apart, a testament to the Tyranids' insidious infiltration tactics. The offspring of these infected humans display stark differences across generations. The first generation stands as a grotesque testament to the Tyranid influence, possessing multiple arms, alien skin color, and a head reminiscent of the Tyranids themselves. The second generation, however, begins to eerily mirror human anatomy, a chilling evolution that blurs the line between human and Tyranid. The third generation of Tyranids, known as neophytes, presents a peculiar anomaly. These beings may possess an extra limb, though this is not a certainty. At times they can masquerade almost perfectly as normal humans, especially under the cloak of dusk or in attire that conceals their aberrant features. Some may lack the third arm, while others bear the cyclopean eye, a haunting vestige of their forebears. The fourth generation of Tyranids, in a sinister twist of fate, seeks to infiltrate the highest echelons of local government structures, thereby granting the cult more influence and resources. These entities are chillingly indistinguishable from humans, blending seamlessly into society. In a dramatic turn in the evolutionary cycle, the fifth generation witnesses the emergence of pure-blooded Tyranids, a stark reminder of the insidious nature of this alien threat. This cycle, initiated by the infection of the local populace with Tyranid genomes, culminates in the birth of new Genestealer cults poised to spread their infection to other races. Yet the reproductive of the Tyranids remains a complex and elusive puzzle. Some are capable of reproduction, while others are devoid of this ability, raising profound questions about their reproductive mechanisms and interactions with other species. The Tyranid cult venerates its leader, the Patriarch, often the first to be infected on a planet. This formidable entity boasts physical strength and intelligence that eclipse even the mightiest of space marines. As the cult's influence swells, so too does the Patriarch, growing in size and power, eventually transforming into a beacon for the Tyranid hive, luring them to the infested world. The cultists, in preparation for the swarm's invasion, engage in acts of sabotage and escalate crime rates. In some instances, they infiltrate local military forces, laying the groundwork for the impending doom. However, there are limits to their infection capabilities. Space Marines, for instance, remain beyond their reach. Ultimately, the offspring of the Genestealers are fated to be annihilated either by a cleansing sweep or by the arrival of the swarm, which will assimilate them into biomass. The presence of Genestealer cultists on a planet is not a prerequisite, but their existence can significantly alter the trajectory of events, weaving a complex tapestry of intrigue and impending doom. The Tyranids, resembling the nightmarish fusion of beetles or other insects, they are encased in a chitinous armor, boasting a diverse anatomy that includes numerous limbs. Their structure is eerily reminiscent of insects and arthropods, characterized by slender, razor-sharp legs. Often derogatorily referred to as cockroaches or bugs, a jest about their pest-like proliferation, these beings are far more than mere nuisances from another galaxy. While certain traits are common across the Tyranid species, they exhibit a chilling adaptability, capable of altering their DNA. This results in different broods that can vary drastically from one another, a testament to their evolutionary prowess. Consider the Lictor, the Tyranids' elite subversive and reconnaissance units, masters of stealth who glide swiftly and silently through the shadows. Their skin possesses the uncanny ability to change color, allowing them to become virtually invisible within their environment. These creatures are nearly impossible to detect with the naked eye, further aided by specialized pheromones that mask their scent. Their heightened sensitivity to odors and sounds makes them the perfect hunters. Lictors are not mere scouts. They are skilled guerrilla fighters. Before executing their prey, they can perform a grotesque form of lobotomy with their tentacles, penetrating the victim's brain to biochemically absorb memories. This macabre process provides the hive with invaluable intelligence on the enemy's vulnerabilities. When in proximity, lictors can communicate with the hive, transmitting information to the collective consciousness. They exhibit a level of intelligence far surpassing that of regular Tyranids, capable of independent action. Engaging these creatures in combat is a formidable challenge. Detecting them is a task daunting even for the elite space troopers, and their speed and size make them lethal adversaries. The arrival of the Hive fleet heralds the shadow in the warp. This phenomenon cripples many technologies reliant on psychic energy, such as communication or navigation, rendered ineffective by the overwhelming presence of the Tyranid's collective mind. Thus, when a Tyranid fleet draws near a planet, communication signals are disrupted, and the arrival of allied forces becomes a near impossibility, leaving the victims isolated and vulnerable to the impending onslaught. At the onset of their invasion, the Tyranid Hive fleet unleashes a terrifying armada of biological spore ships upon the targeted planet. These entities, resembling colossal organic eggs armored with protective plates, are harbingers of a sinister transformation. They initiate a catastrophic metamorphosis of the planet's soil, atmosphere, and even the indigenous flora and fauna, meticulously preparing the world for Tyranid domination. This ecological upheaval serves a grim purpose: to simplify the planet's complex organic compounds, rendering it more digestible for the Tyranid swarm. Among these spores are those designed to unleash various Tyranid life forms upon the planet, such as the Morlock or Trigon. These creatures, worm-like in appearance yet bearing the Tyranid hallmark of diverse appendages and claws, burrow extensive underground networks. They strike from beneath, ambushing their foes and depositing spores that grow into vast capillary towers. These structures serve a macabre function, channeling the processed biomass back to the Hive fleet. Even if the planet's defenders succeed in repelling the Tyranid onslaught, the ecological devastation wrought by the Tyranids' digestive processes leaves the world irreparably scarred. The Tyranid attack strategy is relentless and methodical, commencing with waves of their simplest and most numerous units, the Gaunts. These creatures, slightly larger than humans and adorned with chitinous armor, are deployed as expendable shock troops. Their purpose is to exhaust the enemy, depleting their resources and morale, while inflicting casualties. The Tyranids are indifferent to their own losses, viewing their troops as mere tools in their inexorable advance. The Gaunts, agile and swift, are expertly adapted by the Norn Queen to thrive in diverse environments, their DNA mutating to suit varying climates and atmospheric conditions. The Hive fleet, depending on its strategic needs, can spawn a myriad of specialized creatures: Hormogaunts for ground assaults, gargoyles for aerial support, and other, more enigmatic species. Their arsenal, an extension of their biology, is known as biomorphs, a testament to the Tyranids' ability to evolve their weaponry in response to the demands of war. This adaptability draws a parallel to the orcs and their squigs, creatures that can morph to fulfill various roles. Similarly, the Tyranids exhibit a chilling versatility, constantly evolving their forms and armaments to ensure their dominance in the galaxy-spanning war of survival. All biomorphs within the Tyranid ranks are unique, living organisms, each meticulously specialized for its role. These entities are found across almost all Tyranid species. For instance, when a hive tyrant brandishes a colossal bone sword, it's not merely a found object, but a highly specialized organ, honed to slice through both flesh and metal with equal ease. Some Tyranids even possess claws that are separate sentient organisms. Should these biomorphs suffer damage, they can be swiftly replaced with new, equally lethal counterparts. As more intricate weaponry, the Tyranids possess long-range biomorphs, such as spike shooters, mirroring mechanisms found in certain earth plants that eject seeds when threatened. Another formidable example is their acid cannons, evoking the weaponry of extraterrestrial beings. These biomorphs can project stomach acids under immense pressure, turning a digestive fluid into a deadly weapon. Even in flight, these biomorphic projectiles are capable of biting and injecting venom. Some biomorphs are even designed to launch smaller Tyranids, adding a terrifying layer to their arsenal. The plasma biomorph stands out, showcasing the Tyranid's astounding ability to replicate plasma weaponry organically. In this case, the biomorph is not just a vessel, but a sentient entity, targeting and discharging plasma with its 6 eyes. As the beginning, the Gaunts spearhead the initial wave of assault. If their brute force proves insufficient, they are redeployed to weaken enemy defenses and pinpoint critical resistance points. Following them are the synaptic creatures, the warriors. Towering over 2.5 meters tall and weighing more than a ton, these beings are not only stronger but also more intelligent than their lesser kin, orchestrating the swarm's movements. Should these warriors fall, the remaining Tyranids descend into chaos, attacking indiscriminately, including each other. These warriors possess the remarkable ability to modify their weapons in the midst of battle, effortlessly tearing through even the most formidable space troopers. If the planet's defenses remain unyielding, the swarm unleashes its gargantuan carnifexes, behemoths capable of annihilating tanks. Their arsenal is diverse, ranging from ballistic parasites to organic mortars. The Morlocks and Trigons, massive in their own right, carve extensive tunnels, not just for spores but also for transporting vast numbers of Tyranids. Should a fortress prove impregnable, the Tyranids deploy their artillery, such as the Exocrine, Biovore, or the even more fearsome Pyrovore. These creatures bear colossal biomorphic cannons, subjecting their enemies to a relentless barrage. If all else fails, the Hive Tyrant, the most powerful and intelligent synaptic creatures, capable of devising intricate strategies drawn from a vast genetic repository of combat experience, take to the battlefield, heralding a new and terrifying phase of the Tyranid invasion. The Tyrant, a figure of immortal combat prowess and unyielding personality, is adeptly adapted to the conditions of each new planet it conquers. Even if he dies, his memories are connected hive mind, and his new body can be adjusted to a specific task. Its protection is entrusted to the Tyrant Guards, who, encased in massive armor plates, form a living, moving wall of defense. The Tyranid species vary greatly in size and function, ranging from diminutive creatures that utilize their own flesh as ammunition, to the colossal bio-titans, akin to mobile fortresses, awe-inspiring in their magnitude. In the relentless tide of Tyranid invasion, the defenders' resources inevitably dwindle, while the Tyranids, undeterred by casualties, continue their onslaught. They possess the chilling ability to recycle everything in their path into biomass, even their own fallen. When a planet falls to their might, the Ripper's smaller Tyranid forms are unleashed. They voraciously consume everything, the corpses of friend and foe alike, wildlife and vegetation, converting it all into biomass. Satiated, these Rippers then ascend to the capillary towers, which transfers them to the fleet, where they and their absorbed biomass are digested and assimilated. The planet, stripped of life, is left a barren wasteland as the Tyranid fleet departs for its next target. This relentless cycle underscores the Tyranids as one of the gravest threats our galaxy has ever faced. The Ultramarines, possessing vast resources and controlling an entire subsector, were among the first to confront the behemoth swarm. Despite their might, they repelled the invasion only at a tremendous cost of life. The Blood Angels, facing the Leviathan Hive fleet, found themselves in a dire situation, compounded by a simultaneous demon invasion. Their desperate call for allies brought temporary respite until the Ultramarines' reinforcements arrived. The coincidental demonic invasion diverted some of the Tyranids' focus, sparing the Blood Angels from near-certain defeat. They owed their salvation to Rabut Gilliman, who brought fresh forces to their aid. Yet the toll was heavy, with countless space troopers lost and the planet Baal irreversibly altered. In another instance, an unlikely alliance formed when the Blood Angels and their leader Dante, engaged in battle against the Necron's army, were forced to unite with their foes against a sudden Tyranid incursion. This temporary truce, born of necessity, ended with their joint victory over the Tyranids. Thus, the Tyranids stand as a unique galactic menace, capable of uniting even the most bitter of enemies against their overwhelming threat.